All right, so if you want to be able to adapt to what's taking place within our industry as a programmer, as a creator, as someone who can be impacted by AI, then let's talk about this. Taking a look around, everything is good, let's go. All right, so everything is changing, right? But in reality, everything's been changing for a very long time. This is not anything new. We've always had brand new tools come on the scene. And it's always been about making ourselves a little bit more productive, a little bit more efficient. It just seems like technology is moving ahead so fast at this point in time that it's kind of hard to keep up. And if you hear all the doomsday people out there saying that that's it, jobs are over, you got to get out of this field, whatever field you're in, because in reality, AI, artificial intelligence, once it matures to the point that it can do everything, there will literally be no job that humans are needed for. And if that's the case, then you know what? Let's just enjoy life. But for now, and for the foreseeable future, like I've been saying for quite some time, you know, we're still going to be needed. We're still going to be required in terms of getting things done as a society. And yeah, you're going to see headlines. There's the recent headlines that Google has laid off a good amount of their advertising team, and they've had artificial intelligence take over some of those roles. There's other headlines that Meta has done another round of layoffs. And everybody is saying that AI is the reason for this. And I'm not saying that AI is not. But AI is not the only reason. And I've said something similar in other videos, that the real issue at hand is that the cost of doing business is skyrocketing. We've heard inflation be talked about for quite some time. We've seen in terms of different headlines, you know, there's a recession around the corner or coming down the horizon or something like that. We know that the cost of goods, the cost of services has all gone up over the past couple of years. And when you have interest rates that are skyrocketing, it's kind of hard for big companies, small companies, medium-sized companies, everyone to take out a loan, to take out money. It's expensive. So when things get expensive, you know, companies start to lay people off, because some of the biggest expenses that exist for a company is people. Human capital. So AI may not be 100% ready to take over some of these jobs, but the financial situation might be requiring some of these companies to, you know, show up their bottom line. But now this is what you got to do if you want to be prepared, because there's going to be a comeback. People are going to get hired. A lot of people will get let go. Other people will get hired. So if you want to be the person that gets hired, then all you have to really do, if you want to stay in your particular field, you have to upskill. All right, so what is upskilling? Well, upskilling is when you take the current thing that you're learning or the current thing you're working on, your current skill set, and take it to the next level. You learn and enhance your skill set. Let's say you're a new programmer. Well, you take all the skills that you currently learned and you go deeper into them, and you use artificial intelligence and you use all the tools at your disposal in order to enhance your skills, to get better as a programmer. If you're a graphic artist, the same thing. You know, we can take some of the tools that are being created, like Adobe Firefly or some of the new features in Photoshop or any of these other platforms, and use that to enhance and enrich our products or whatever we're working on. There's a lot of opportunity out there. If you're willing to put in the work, if you're willing to put in the hours, you can upskill fast, and you can learn some other technologies that go along with whatever it is you're working on. Again, this applies all across the board, not just to programmers. On this channel, I primarily talk to programmers because that's what I am. I'm a web developer. I create tools that I use for debugging or analyzing some of my projects. I develop WordPress themes. That's something that I sell on my website. So if you want to check that out, definitely do so. But the reality is that we all need to upskill. And I'm upskilling now. I've spent the past year going as deep as I can on artificial intelligence. And that's why some of these videos that I've been uploading recently have been centered around AI, because I know that I'm not the only one. I know there's a lot of programmers out there that are feeling the pressure, feeling like they're about to lose their jobs, or the opportunity to become a programmer or a next level programmer is gone, that those days are numbered. And some people will, you know, tap out very early on. They'll ring that bell, as they say, and they'll just, they'll try something different. And if they really don't want to be a programmer, then maybe they should. But if you want to be a programmer, or if you want to be a graphic editor, or if you want to be a videographer, or if you want to be whatever it is you want to do, then you just have to not accept it that your days are numbered, because they're not. Take the tools that we have and just go to the next level. I know it sounds easier said than done, right? I mean, it could be exhausting trying to learn how to use some of these tools. But in reality, what else is it that you really want to do? Again, I'm talking to the people who really want to do this as a career. And yes, there is a career path for the next 10 years for programmers, or for whatever else it is that you're doing at this point in time. And beyond that, who knows? I don't know. Even the people who are working on this technology are not very clear on what's going to happen within the next decade and more. We have ideas, we can hypothesize, but nobody knows for sure. And if you believe that AI is coming for your job, then guess what? AI is coming for every job. But in the meantime, you're needed. Now, if you really want to change paths and you don't want to upskill, or you don't want to continue to learn new technologies when it comes to whatever it is you're working on, then maybe the next thing to do is reskill. And reskilling is kind of like upskilling, but it's just, in a different path in terms of learning a new trade or a new craft. And a lot of organizations, a lot of companies, they have reskilling type opportunities where they'll take a person who's in a position that's going to get replaced, and they will train them on how to do something completely different. A lot of larger companies are doing this because they know that human capital is still very important. I mean, the reality of it is, if there is no more need for jobs, and I've said this before, then billionaires are going to lose out on their value and their money at the same time. So there's an inherent interest for the wealthier in our society to, one, obviously maintain what they currently have. They also want to get more for the most part, but at the same time, make sure that they keep society in a way that still requires capitalism. Because that's the way to protect their own backsides, right? That's the way for them to protect their own bottom lines, to make sure that people still need to earn $1 and still have a way to earn $1. Now, they're talking about universal basic income. It's an idea. Is it going to happen? Maybe some version of it happens, but what I've learned, over my time, whenever you get something initially, you're going to end up having to pay it back somehow. So if they have, let's say, universal basic income for like $1,000 a month, then that just basically means that everything else is going to go up in price, right? I mean, that's just how it works. Somehow it has to be paid for. And we see that all across the board. So that's why I think jobs are not going anywhere anytime soon. But reskilling is an opportunity where you learn new skills, maybe in a field that you're not really familiar with right now. And you can inquire in your company, see if they have a reskilling program. And if they do, then you definitely want to take advantage of that. And even if they don't, then maybe it's time for you to reskill yourself, right? There's a bunch of different channels on YouTube that you can check out in different fields, right? This is like an endless pool of information for you to, use to research and learn something new. YouTube has a video on basically everything. And if you have a couple of dollars, then maybe check out some of the other boot camps or see if there's any other types of programs that you could take in order to learn a new skill. And the reason why I'm recommending this is because sometimes it's not a good idea to wait until your company or the industry that you're working in chooses to create a reskilling type of program. It's better to get a head start on it, get a jump start on it, and take matters into your own hands and just really learn something new on your own. And if you're somebody like me, I mean, I'm always learning something new. And, there's a downfall to that you're always learning something different, and that can slow down your progress in other areas. But it also helps to keep you versatile and helps to create or stimulate the way you think in terms of finding different solutions or different ways of doing things when you learn a completely different trade or completely different craft. So when I make these videos and when I do some of these topics and I cover some of these topics, it does help me in terms of my creativity, because that's something that I am always trying to work on. I'm more of a logical type thinker in terms of getting things done. That's why I like doing back-end programming, working on the server, working with dynamic programming languages. The front-end development, I'm okay at. It's not my specialty. I do know HTML, very well. I do know CSS, not as good as I know PHP. I'm more comfortable with PHP. I'm more comfortable on the command line, and I'm more comfortable with programming languages that are on the back end. So when I create videos like this, it's my way of reskilling in a sense, and trying to stimulate my brain in order to think more creatively. So whether you're a programmer, whether you're a developer, or if you're a content creator, a photo editor, or digital animator, whatever title you have, there's going to be an opportunity to upskill, to take your skills to the next level. Take all the tools, like I said. We have a wealth of tools today that we didn't have, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. Take all that, take advantage of everything that's out there and use that to help level up and take your skills to the next, to the next level. And if you feel like it's time for you to tap out and go into a different field, that's fine too. Reskill. You got to do something, right? The world is changing. It's changing fast. But in reality, pretty much everything's staying the same. We all have bills we got to pay. We all have responsibilities. We still live in the capitalist type society that requires us to earn a living. So all we can do right now is either upskill or reskill. And that's what you got to do if you want to make it in this day and age. All right, so hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what you got to do. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or suggestions, leave them down below, and I'll catch you in the next one.